you've been around the Chiefs a lot over the last decade with all the work you've done covering the NFL, and it's brought you to the Chiefs and around the Chiefs for a lot of big games. Just your view of this team right now, especially since it seemed like the Chiefs were starting to find their groove, but then they go to Buffalo and submit a bit of a stinker. So who are these Chiefs?
Yeah, I don't think they are who they've been, Mike, in all honesty. I don't think there's ever any panic in that building. You're right. I've been around them a ton over the last 7, 8 years, maybe more than any other team. And I would say this, there's been a feeling in the building of not that they're worried, but there's a different feeling this year than in years past. And they've had slow starts in years past. And Steve Spagnuolo's defense has had really rough Septembers and Octobers and then gotten outstanding by the time December and January rolls around. And they always know that they will find a way, which is really a testament to their coaching staff and what they instill in this team. But there is in the building, to my understanding, just a little bit of a different feeling than years past, whether that's you know, Chris Jones is playing a lot more snaps. Is that impacting the type of player he can be in terms of disrupting and closing out games? Are they as good on the defensive line as they've been in the past? Offensively, we have a lot of names and a lot of players, and it revolves obviously around Rashee Rice. But offensively, they haven't been consistently what they thought they've been. So I would say there's a different feeling there than in years past. But at the same time, you have Patrick Mahomes coming off a game where he completed 44% of his passes, and Andy Reid coming off of a bye. I still think that's very dangerous. There's nobody that's more driven in this league than Patrick when he fails, and Andy obviously off a bye is a big deal. But I do think there's a different feel around the Chiefs right now than in years past, certainly.
James, when you look at the AFC West, the Chiefs are 5-4. The Broncos are 8-2, leading the division. You also have the Chargers at 7-3. If the Broncos are able to win, do you think this ends the reign of the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West? And oh, by the way, the Chiefs will drop to 1-2 on the division.
Yeah, I think this is huge, Stoke. It really is, because you look at who Kansas City has next week, which is Indianapolis. And so if they drop these two games, they're in very serious jeopardy of missing the postseason. Like, seriously. But what changes for Kansas City and Denver, to me, and why this game is so important, leading into this game, Denver had the fifth easiest schedule in the NFL, and now they switch to the toughest schedule in the NFL. The Chiefs go from the fifth toughest schedule to the 20th easiest schedule. And so they've had different paths to where they're getting here. But this first game and then the game against Indianapolis, I think, plays a huge role. Denver can play a massive role in what the future of Kansas City is. They've always benefited, Stoke. And you asked me this question about the division often, and I always think about it this way. The Patriots and the Chiefs have always benefited from a division that has not been very good for the vast majority of their run. And so they can figure things out in the beginning of the season because they have this luxury. The Chiefs don't have that luxury anymore. The Chargers are too good. The Broncos are too good. And they might have dug themselves a hole with the way this season started. And if Denver wins this game, and then if they lose to Indianapolis, one that they possibly cannot get out of.
Visit with James Palmer. James, again, with all the time you spent around the Chiefs, have the Broncos been on the Chiefs' radar for a while? Have the Broncos, sort of gained the Chiefs' attention here for a while? That the Chiefs have been aware that the Broncos are a team that is trending in the right direction?
Yes. Yeah, certainly. It's been that case. I know Spagnuolo's been saying it to his team. I know there's been a lot of discussion in that building this week about Bo and using his legs and the type of athlete he is and what Sean brings to the table as obviously a head coach. You have to remember, like, I know you guys have watched all these games, but I've talked to Patrick Mahomes about these games, and he hates playing the Broncos. Like, he hated playing Vic Fangio, even though he won, obviously, all of those games. Vic gave him a ton of fits, and I think BJ does the same thing. I mean, this is a really tough defense, and he knows it. And they're not I would say this: Kansas City fans' perspective of like the Mahomes' 13-1 record against the Broncos, and Patrick's and Andy Reid's perspective of it is very, very different. And I think in that building, they understand what Denver brings as a defense. They understand that Bo has a little bit of that it factor. They completely respect. They know they lost that game mid-season. and end up blocking a kick. It was kind of in the middle of when I talked to coaches there, guys, like last year, where they were going, I don't know how we're winning these games. Like, I'm not sure how we're winning some of these games. They were even questioning that on that run. And the Denver game was a big part of that. They knew they got beat in that game. And so, yeah, there's plenty of respect for Denver in that building, specifically, though, for the defense that Denver's been putting out on the field and the way that they've always played Patrick Mahomes. He struggled against them. He has, even though he's won.
James, what we watched last week or week and a half ago against the Raiders, it was terrible offensively. Do you think we see a little bit different approach from Sean and Bo this week, a noticeable different approach offensively to try to get something going?
I hope so. I hope it's something different. What I'm worried about is, obviously J.K. Dobbins, to me, is the linchpin to how this offense works. And this is exactly why. They need to stay on the field in this game, Stoke. Like, you look at the way Kansas City has played football, even though they haven't played their best football, their time per drive is highest in the NFL. Their plays per drive are the highest in the NFL. And we know in the first 3 quarters that Denver has issues going 3 and out. Mahomes is going to spend too much time on the field if they can't convert third downs and they can't effectively run the football as an offense, Denver. And then you start wearing out your best asset in this game, which is your defense. And so I'm really concerned about the run game. I wouldn't be surprised if Bo has some more designed runs to try to keep this offense on the field and the ability to use his legs. I know Kansas City is a little concerned about him doing that. But I look at the way Kansas City has played offensive football this year, and it hasn't been perfect, but at the same time, they stay on the field. And I think you might lose a little bit of that advantage if offensively you can't stay on the field and keep Patrick on the sideline a little bit. That's offensively where I really want to see if they can sustain drives and how Sean puts that together if J.K. Dobbins can't go, which it's looking like that's the case.
James, for all the debate around Bo Nix, do you see a quarterback right now that lacks confidence?
I think he's confident. I just don't think he's seeing it the way that maybe he saw it last year. I do think there's a little bit of a difference there. I think he has, talking to people in that building, the utmost confidence in himself, for sure. I don't think that lacks. What I think he's maybe, I don't say he's not questioning it. He's just not seeing it the way he saw it last year, and he's just not going through the offense, and it's disjointed in a sense. I think they wanted to expand on some things, and they haven't happened. And what they wanted to expand on hasn't completely come into fruition. The tight end spot has not come into a portion of this offense that they really thought it would become. And so I don't think he lacks confidence, because specifically when the game's on the line, Mike, like he's as calm as can be, and he's ready to go and make plays, and it doesn't faze him. So that part of it stands out to me, that he doesn't lack confidence. It's just, there is a concern there, I would say. And I think those are two different things.
James, give us a prediction for Sunday's game.
Oof. I'm going to say 27-24 Denver. That's going to be my prediction. 27-24. I don't think you're going to completely shut down Patrick Mahomes, but I think you have an opportunity to score some points on this defense. I really do. I think they have an opportunity. They just need to connect on some of these balls. They just need to, some of the plays are there. You just got to, I don't want to say perfect, but you got to connect on some of these that are there, and especially the ones that are downfield.
All right, James, enjoy your weekend.
Appreciate it, guys. I'm going to hit the slopes.
Okay. Oh, where are you going?
I'm sitting in the Winter Park parking lot right now.
Nice.
I needed a me morning, guys. Just even though much of the mountain's not open, I need a couple of turns.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Should be a beautiful day up there. All right, have fun. Thank you, James.